Hi, all. We are heading towards the end of our course, and one of the discussions we're going to be having this week deals with how do we prepare our students for the complexity of college, careers, and modern life. The 21st century classroom has to transform from a traditional teacher-centered model to a dynamic, student-driven learning environment. This whole evolution requires a focus on developing essential skills and embracing new teaching methodologies and overcoming significant challenges. The modern learning space that we need to start thinking about now is characterized by a flexible and adaptive approach to education. We need to consider the following things: student-centered learning, where the focus shifts from the teacher as the sole dispenser of knowledge to becoming a facilitator of learning, and students will take a more active role in their education. We also want to do collaborative and project-based learning, which is one of the activities we did in the last few weeks using a wiki. So if you're doing it in a physical classroom, you can also alter it around by putting desks in like flexible seating arrangements to encourage teamwork. And of course, using online tools like a wiki or blogs. We also have to think about seamless technology integration, that it's not just an occasional tool, but woven into the fabric of everyday learning. They use their devices, their computers, their phones to research, create contact, and connect with experts and other peers. So we also need to think about the development of essential soft skills. So we need to think about critical thinking skills that they need to develop. They need to practice communication with all kinds of ideas across various media, collaboration, as I mentioned before, and creativity to think innovatively to solve problems and generate new ideas. There are other vital skills in this environment that include adaptability, leadership, and global awareness. We also need to think about personalized and differentiated instruction, recognizing that students learn at different paces in different ways. One of the tools that I'm going to be sharing this week is called the pedagogy wheel, and you're going to see where it uses Bloom's technology with the learning activities with web-based tools we can use, and also AI tools that we can use to develop our course curriculum and learning materials. We also need to think about the digital divide that we are dealing with in our schools, especially those that have students from different cultures. There's unequal access to technology and high-speed internet at home, and that can create disparities among students, making it difficult to implement these technology-dependent learning activities equitably. We also need to think about keeping pace with technology. This is probably the hardest thing to do because it involves working with new and innovative technologies that are being introduced and reduced and provided every week. You know, AI is going to be a big factor in what we do with online learning, and it's best to keep your mind set on helping those. So what we need to do is become very tech savvy and critically aware of not only how you can use these tools, but how your students are already using them. I also encourage you to create a professional community among other educators in your school or your professional networks to kind of share ideas, troubleshoot challenges, and maybe share ideas with your blogs that you've created in our class. Finally, make sure that you advocate for support in your own schools. This is very important to do, and embracing these type of changes, we can transform our classrooms into very engaging spaces that empower students with the skills and knowledge they're going to need to survive in their ever-evolving, changing world. Thank you.